Hey guys, it's another episode of Ask Rachel. So let's go ahead and get things started with Joshua H., who says, "Hey there, Rachel." Hi, Joshua. I was wondering if you prefer first-person or third-person shooters better. And also if you could tell me any decent third-person shooter games coming out for the 360, or already out for the 360, apart from Gears of War, Lost Planet, Kane and Lynch, and Red Faction games. He feels that they are sometimes overshadowed by FPSs. Honestly, I don't really have a preference as far as the camera view goes. I do prefer a lot of third-person shooters just because they're usually a little more creative than a lot of the FPS games. A lot of the FPS games are really basically just reskins of one another. They don't really have a lot of personality. You can't really tell a lot of them apart. They're all kind of the same. So that being said, I do like third-person a little bit more just for the reason of the games behind it. Not so much the camera view. There are some really great first-person games, like Bioshock. A lot of people don't consider that an FPS, but if you think about it, it is an FPS. But it's amazing. And Borderlands was FPS, right? Pretty sure it was. That's another really, really great one. But as far as a third-person game that you might like, I'm going to go with Bulletstorm. Bulletstorm was third-person, right? I think it was. If not, then it's another great first-person game that is not like your typical FPS. Evan says, "I'm really not sure if you have ever mentioned this, but are you a fan of the Metroid series?" I am a fan of the Metroid series. I mean, it's hard to be a gamer and not be a fan of, at least be a fan of the old Metroid games, which I'm more a fan of. I'm not really into the Metroid Prime, but a little bit more of the retro Metroid is definitely where it's at, because I love those games when I was younger. Then we have Shane, who says, "I remember you said you played Bayonetta and didn't like it. I was wondering, did you play through the whole game, and if so, was there anything you did like about it? The humor, the music, etc." I didn't like Bayonetta because it was Devil May Cry with a chick. The controls were awful. I thought the environment art was terrible. I hated the fact how all the enemies were so much bigger than your character, so it was really hard to fight them because you couldn't see where you were pointing, you couldn't see what you were doing, just because the monsters were so big. The stupid hearts and rainbows and flowers that came out, that was just ridiculous. And it wasn't my kind of humor. So, no, I did not like anything about Bayonetta. I thought it didn't have any redeeming qualities. But that's just me. I know it has a big fan base, but for me, it just didn't get me. I thought it was stupid. Conman100 says, "How long have you been making YouTube videos for? Did you talk about the PS2 or PS1 in those YouTube videos?" I really haven't been doing YouTube videos for long. Maybe 2 years at the most, I'm guessing. I'm honestly not quite sure. I started off doing YouTube videos just reviewing iPhone app games because at the time I was doing Game Girl for GamePro, and I was doing GamePro's iPhone or, their app game coverage, their mobile game, that's it. I was doing GamePro's mobile game coverage. So I was like, I'm going to also do a little YouTube thing called, I think it was called iPhone App Attack or something like that, where I reviewed iPhone games. And even back then, we did not have the caliber of games that we have now for the iPhone. Isn't it weird how, these casual mobile games, even they have grown, and so quickly, the games we had out for the iPhone back when I started doing the reviews were really silly compared to the stuff we have now. The stuff we have now is a lot better. Next and lastly, we have Eddie. First one is, if Microsoft asked their customers what they would like to see on the 360 or on Xbox Live, what would you recommend to them and why? That's a really good question. I know what I'd like not to see, and that's more Kinect features and Kinect forced into my games. That's what I would like not to see. What I would like to see on Xbox 360 or Xbox Live. I would like if they got a company to make Eternal Darkness 2. And I would really like to see them actually start focusing more on gamers and not so much crappy, again, what I would like them not to do. This crappy force-fed family fun night stuff that's always on my Xbox Live when I turn it on. The terrible, review shows they have on there where everybody talks like they're like this from Sesame Street. Hey guys, let's go play Xbox. And they always have these stupid, these really corny one-liners, and they're always I don't know, it's too cheesy for me. The kind of reviews I like are just normal reviews where it doesn't sound scripted and it doesn't sound like someone's using puns constantly. And they're just always talking about how explosive the gameplay is. Ridiculous adjectives. I'm totally off your question. I'm on a completely different tangent. But wrap it back up. That's what I'd like to see more of on Xbox Live, is less of that stuff. Question number 2. This is an old one, because, again, I'm so backlogged with questions. But he asked what my expectations for Dead Island were. Dead Island actually exceeded my expectations. When I had seen it the few other times at press events, it just wasn't right. It just didn't feel right. And I think it's a game that you really have to give yourself some time with and get into it and play it. Don't expect a blockbuster game as far as story, and don't expect the best gameplay, because Dead Island definitely isn't that. And that's what I was expecting from Dead Island. After that first trailer, you couldn't have these high expectations for story. And the story definitely was some of the most basic story type of zombies are coming over the world kind of stuff. So yeah, it beat my expectations though as far as fun. I had so much fun with it. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. And if you saw my review, you know exactly my feelings on it. And that's it for this week's Ask Rachel. Next week, my YouTube channel is going to be pretty quiet because I'm actually going to be out of town. I'm going to Florida to Disney World for a full week, so I will be completely no computer, no internet. Okay, well, I might be tweeting from my phone because I can't go completely no internet, but as little internet as possible because I just want to have some fun time at Disney World. And yeah, so look for all my stuff to catch up with the week after next. When I get to more of your questions, I'll have more reviews and another live chat. As always, thanks for watching, and I totally love you guys.